things have gotten that bleak in the cryptocurrency space, we've had to bring in a chihuahua to cheer everybody up. And believe you me, you need to be comfortable as a man with your sexuality to stand in front of the camera with a chihuahua. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what's going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily market update. Despite the markets being lackluster and there being little to no interest in the cryptocurrency space, the groundworks for the enabling of this asset class and the technology more broadly are being put in. We've got a lot to get into, as always. I want to kick things off with retail sentiment through the lens of Google Trends. We are at a very low point, but I believe that's where the opportunity lies. When nobody else is paying attention to this industry, that's when we want to be, knowing what's coming and what it's going to enable. We are looking at the formation of the Internet of Value, ladies and gentlemen. There was a new Fed governor, Michelle Bowman, announced yesterday in regards to being confirmed. Now, Senator Lummis has a lot to say about her in regards to being very crypto friendly. We also have, and we're going to look at what we should have already looked at, which is the Clarity Act introduced by French Hill. This essentially is, I mean, the clue's kind of in the name, about giving clarity to the digital asset space. And that's one of the kind of, I guess, bullish elements in regards to this asset class as a whole, is it hasn't even been allowed to become that. We've got, and still haven't really got in the United States, which is the largest kind of liquidity pool that there is, any regulatory clarity outside of really Bitcoin and Ethereum. And there's still a gray area there. That is all coming. We're yet to see the floodgates open in regards to ETFs. If you didn't watch my Duncan Moyer, he is the president of 21 Shares. He's he previously worked at Aberdeen, one of the largest financial institutions in the UK. We spoke about ETPs and the fact that they just enabled a Hedera ETP in the EU, and why that's such a big deal and what that starts or puts in motion more broadly. That is well worth a watch, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be covering the Clarity Act. Then we're going to talk about a shocking revelation in regards to JPMorgan now offering loans financed with crypto. This is a 180-degree turn from JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon saying he'd fire traders in a second for trading Bitcoin. You know, very interesting. You want to watch what they do, not what they say. Then we have news about Trump's company, Truth Social, and the fact that they filed for a Bitcoin ETF. They know what's coming. Why would they be doing that if they didn't see the interest? And then we're going to talk about Bitcoin as a performer in regards to its ETF product, and the fact that BlackRock is on the way to, and will inevitably, I believe, eclipse Satoshi Nakamoto in terms of holdings. And that's ironic. This industry was really, I believe, spawned, at least if you believe the narrative, to help the everyday individual and to protect them from the financial system. And actually, the financial system is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this. And then we'll do some TA. So, a lot to get into. Start with Google Trends. And it's pretty bleak out there, guys. You know, ultimately, as far as crypto is concerned, there is little to no interest. But I believe that is going to create a major opportunity. Certainly, if you're interested in the cryptocurrency space right now, and hopefully with these daily market updates, we've been encouraging exactly that, showing you that every financial institution, every government is going to use and utilize, and everybody is going to use and utilize distributed ledger. And if you look at where we are in regard to that trajectory, we're right at the start. That's a value proposition, if ever I have seen one. And just like the internet, nobody was interested at the start, but now everybody wishes they was. That is, or were, that's the same trajectory that the cryptocurrency space is on. And right now there's little to no interest. That's reflected in the price. That's reflected in the sentiment. You know, life's all about perspective, and we've given along a kind of spiel on all of that previously. This is from Eleanor Tourette, great person to follow, previously or formerly at Fox Business. New Fed Governor Michelle Bowman has been confirmed to be the next vice chair for supervision, officially replacing Michael Barr as the Fed's top regulator. And here we have Senator Cynthia Lummis saying, I'm thrilled that the Senate has confirmed Michelle Bowman as vice chair of supervisions at the Federal Reserve. Her confirmation represents a turning point for digital assets and bringing much needed balance and accountability to Fed banking supervisions. Michelle's commitment to evidence-based regulations over political considerations will strengthen America's financial system. I'm excited to see the positive impact she'll have in this crucial role. Yesterday, we looked at just how crypto is going to integrate with the financial system and actually be the rails upon which it is ran. And what we didn't speak about, we know about the Genius Act, which is really targeted around stablecoins, and I do believe that's going to pass. But what we didn't speak about was the Clarity Act. And the clue's in the name, to give regulatory clarity on the cryptocurrency space. And that's the kind of, again, opportunity that we have here is we're investing in a technology that hasn't even got regulatory clarity or has largely been hindered by the former political regime. That is changing, and with that change comes the enabling of this industry from both the technological side of things and the investment side of things, and we're very excited about that. Chairman French Hill today introduced the Clarity Act, a bipartisan bill which would establish a regulatory framework for digital assets in the US. I'm proud to introduce the Bipartisan Clarity Act with my colleagues. Our bill brings long overdue clarity to the digital asset ecosystem, prioritizes consumer protection and American innovation, and builds off our work in the 118th Congress. I look forward to delivering our bill to President Trump's desk and securing America's position as the global leader in digital assets. And of course, this was the press release from the United States House Committee on Financial Services. The reason we show all this is because really this is all gearing up for what's ultimately coming. And I want to play you a clip from yesterday of Brian Steele talking about this bill more broadly and what it's going to do. Let's dive into that.
Very much, Chairman Hill. Thank you for your leadership in introducing the Clarity Act, and thank you for your leadership in bringing us together in a nonpartisan way, members on both sides of the aisle who've already come to co-sponsor the Clarity Act. The golden age of digital assets is here, and today's hearing moves us closer to ensuring that America wins the Web3 race. The Clarity Act will unleash innovation and ensure U.S. dominance in digital assets while protecting consumers from fraud. At the same time, we must preserve the dynamic and democratic and democratizing nature of this technology. Many of the most transformative projects were born in basements and dorm rooms, not in law firms and boardrooms. They were born in incubators across the country. And we have an opportunity to make sure that that spirit of creativity and entrepreneurship continues to thrive under a regulatory framework that is modern, supportive of innovation, and clear.
Don't be a sheep. Don't be put off by the lack of interest because the masses are rarely collectively right. There's a reason not everybody's rich. I mean, technically, if everybody was rich, would anybody be rich? I mean, that's an interesting topic. But you don't want to... just because people aren't interested right now in the crypto space doesn't mean you shouldn't be. In fact, I would suggest the exact opposite is true. And why we're showing all of this is because the groundworks for the enabling of this industry are being put in. And every day we cover that. We cover the institutions that are telling you they're going to use it. We cover the macro landscape economically and the shift towards crypto that is taking place largely due to the needs for that innovation. So on and so forth. And actually, another revelation, this is from Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge is a great website to follow. Also, go check out Crypto Snackable. That's another one of our websites, and allincrypto.com. And do check out the Patreon link in the description if you want to join our community. But this is from Zero Hedge. Bitcoin becomes safe collateral JPMorgan to offer loans financed with crypto assets. Now, less than 8 years ago, when Bitcoin was at $4,000, compared to $104,000 today, Jamie Dimon demonstrated once again that he may be an okay bank CEO. Okay. After all, without TARP, JP Morgan would not exist. But he is a terrible visionary when he warned his traders that anyone caught trading Bitcoin would be fired. Fast forward to today, then when not only will JP Morgan or Jamie, who at almost 70 should really be thinking of succession, not fired anyone from JP Morgan for trading the best performing asset of the millennium, if not all time. And now he's essentially looking to offer trading and wealth management clients to use some cryptocurrencies linked assets as collateral for loans. That's a major 180. According to the report, the firm will start providing financing against crypto exchange traded funds, beginning with BlackRock's iShares IBIT. What a coincidence. In the coming weeks, people familiar with the matter said the move marks the latest effort involving crypto amongst the biggest US banks after the Trump administration started removing regulatory barriers. In regards to the Trump administration, or Trump specifically, Trump's company just filed for Truth Social Bitcoin ETF, which will track spot Bitcoin and list on the NASDAQ. If this was just a nothing burger and this was going to go away and crypto's done, would all these people be doing what they're doing? I would argue not. Also, interestingly, in regards to IBIT, here's a table of the 25 biggest ETFs and their age. At 1.4 years old, so 1 year and 4 months, IBIT is the youngest on the list by 9 times. Pretty amazing. It's like an infant hanging out with teenagers and 20-somethings. Quite possibly the most insane IBIT stat yet. And there are many. I mean, it's truly remarkable in regards to IBIT's success. The chart is from a note that he wrote today. This is Eric Balanchunas, great guy to follow also, predicting that IBIT will likely pass Satoshi as the world's biggest Bitcoin holder by the end of the year. This should make traditional Bitcoin maxis very upset, although it typically doesn't, because really all they're worried about is, making money. And that's really it. And there's a danger to that. And how it's a testament to the power of convinced low-cost liquidity and trust that the ETF brings to the table. Paste this into terminal and read the full notes. And of course, this is from Eric Balanchunas. Let's finish things off with a little bit of price action as it relates to the cryptocurrency space. We're just waiting for all these higher targets for Bitcoin to play out. June is the average return for June since Bitcoin's existence is very much flat. I think it's minus like 0.something%. We're kind of experiencing that. You got to think selling may come back instantly. Just day markets go a little bit quiet over summer. However, you really want to be paying attention and doing your homework during that time period, because towards the back end of the year, markets typically do sensationally well, and crypto is very much following its historical patterns. Even in regards to Bitcoin dominance, the Bitcoin dominance cycle, we've not even seen it go on for the length of time that it went up in the prior cycle. And that tells you everything you need to know. So alt season is still coming, in my opinion. It's going to be a spectacular one. You're either along for that ride or you're not. But as it relates to Bitcoin, we're just waiting for all these higher technical targets to play out. The altcoin sector, to use HBAR as an example, has really just had its first initiatory move. It's pulled back. I believe you're going to see continuation. I do think that's on the cards. Do watch out for a video that we're going to be releasing later on today that's going to give a longer take on all that in regards to technically why you should be extremely interested in the cryptocurrency space. And of course, you can link that to everything that we talk about fundamentally on a day-to-day basis. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me. I'm going to love and leave you all. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.